What's going on? Welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean with Ryan and JJ.
Hello. What's up?
Coming in week 10 edition, we all fell for the bait once again last week. We said we wouldn't do it again and I'll pick the Patriots. We sure did. They were playing the Tennessee Titans, who came into the game with a worse record than the Pats, and we thought that was going to be enough. I don't know. It's like the weakest analysis we've kind of ever done is we just looked at the records. At least I did.
Well, when you're this bad, we made them look like a good team. We made Mason Rudolph look like a reasonable quarterback. Jeffrey Simmons, their defensive tackle, is a monster. I'll give him that. We didn't help prevent him from having a really good game. We just single man blocked him the entire time. But he is a really, really good player. Probably the best player on that team. It's kind of funny that this team has gotten rid of so many people recently. Derrick Henry being one of them. He would actually made them maybe decent. He fits that profile so good, but we suck. We're 2-7. We came in with probably thinking we had the hardest strength of schedule we've had in years, and we're going to be bad. And the strength of schedule has actually completely flopped. Every team we've played this year has sucked except for the Texans. We haven't played anyone good. Nobody's good, and we can't beat any of them. Except the Jets, I guess. I have a whole list that I'm going to go through later, just shitting on a certain aspect of the team. So, Ryan, why don't you go next and see what?
To me, it starts with the defense not being able to stop Tennessee on the first drive. They're just driving right down the field. Pollard had a really good day, 28 for 128. Could not stop the run. Could not stop the in routes, the 15-yard in routes all day with our linebackers in this hook curl zone about 5-10 yards deep, and they're just not athletic enough. There's not the kind of linebackers we have off ball. I think being down some safeties that are injured, all of our corners are healthy, right? So it's just
that's the healthiest position. Yeah.
It's just there's not enough depth on the team, not enough speed on the defense, not a good enough pass rush, and we really made Tennessee look respectable, and they're not that good.
They're terrible. They're not that good. They're terrible.
Yeah, Vinette and Wiley early in the game were kicking our asses. Like, these tight ends are not good tight ends. We made them look quick, and they're not quick. So I have serious question marks with the defense. The lack of blitzing is really frustrating, because when they did blitz, especially later in the game, I thought that they really showed up. It looked good. And I know we're down some pieces here, but
everybody is too, though.
To get manhandled, we're going to overtime and they drive right down the field. Our defense looks terrible.
Yeah, what was it, a 7-8 minute drive?
Yeah, and it's the strength last year, and I know we're missing some pieces again, but we're a terrible defense right now. We're bottom half easily. I think we were 21st or 22nd coming into this game, and we're not much better now.
Yeah, it's brutal on that side of the ball. Currently 21st in scoring defense, 25th in total defense.
What about in rush? Do you have the rush defense? I think it's bottom two.
26th in rush defense.
Oh, wow. Not as bad as I thought. I thought we were bottom,
We're pretty darn bad. Tony Pollard came into the game questionable, didn't practice all week with a foot injury, and he made us look dumb in playing our run defense. The linebacker is the weakest spot for me. We don't tackle well enough in the run game. We don't cover anybody. One with the way our defense is and the like play we can actually put on the field, the only good position we have right now on defense is cornerback.
Yeah.
All those guys can play man coverage, and we just have to unlock or just unleash man coverage and send extra blitzers, especially against a
Yeah.
backup quarterback who's a pocket passer who isn't going to threaten you on the ground.
I
I
know he can't
100%
run.
agree. We
Yeah.
don't play enough man on the inside. It's always man on with the corners and the like the speedy players. We're playing man against receivers. We're not really playing man against the interior of the field, and that's become a massive problem. And we haven't done anything that I can see to address it. Some of
Yeah.
the
I
some
mean,
of the some of the run fits too. You look at like, I mean, who Raekwon McMillan does not attack gaps. He attacks the guy that's supposed to block him. He's not playing the gap. He's playing the blocker. It's fucking strange. Um, I don't think he's good enough. You need to start getting some athletic linebackers in here, and I think Jawan Bentley would look a lot better.
but I mean,
But
how much
I
better
mean,
would he look too? I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but this defense is awful. And speaking of what you said, Sean, too, and just the bigger point of it is they keep putting these players in positions to not succeed. They're not going, okay, we don't have this, we don't have this. What can we do? Instead of saying that, they're like, we're going to do this and just see how it goes. This is what we're going to do and see how it goes. Oh, they have Jeffrey Simmons on the other side. We're going to move Micah Wynn to the right tackle because we want to do that and put Layden Robinson against the fucking best guy he's probably going to have faced his entire life and just get him completely shredded,
yeah.
like
So
with no help. All this stuff, and it's just, I mean, at this point, I'm questioning everything. I think that Demarcus Covington, what he's calling overall in defense, is terrible. Um, you know, they're not getting any help from the refs and all that shit, but that's a whole different thing. Offensively, they were finally getting somewhere with the offensive line, and they gave up 4 sacks in this game. It wasn't horrible at times, but that's because Drake ran for 95 yards and really just at a certain point was like, I'm going to run all over the place because that's all I can kind of do, and that's all that's going on. The offensive coordinators aren't putting, Scott Van Pelt has had some moments, but for him to say he's not going to call any runs is an odd thing. It's like, well, why'd you just take that? Me and Ryan were talking about that today. Why'd you take
design
that?
runs for Drake May. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
quarterback runs.
we don't need a lot, but you say that, you put that on the table so all the teams go, oh, well, he's only going to scramble run. We
Yeah.
know he's not going to
There's
fucking
no design runs.
call a designed run.
Well, why would you eliminate that from the opponent's radar? I don't really understand that.
I don't
You know,
understand it, man. I mean, in the way the team was built, I mean, the draft picks are getting worse. You have Jalen Polk, who was on the field for like less than 10 plays and got negative 20 yards or 15 yards in penalties and didn't receive a catch. That's
Yeah.
a pretty incredible stat. You have shit like that. And then I have a list of all of our free agent signings this year and how wonderful they've all done for us. So we've signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. Okay. Jalen Hawkins at safety is terrible at safety. The ball constantly goes over his head. You see Johnny Jones, he did it again. Every game, Johnny Jones gets beaten downfield and he's expecting safety help. And he looks at Jalen Hawkins and yells at him, like, where the fuck were you? Okay, so that's how he's doing. KJ Osborne asked for a trade last week. Should have got traded. Not sure why he didn't. Austin Hooper has been all right, but he's what you've expected. Maybe a couple catches. Antonio Gibson got 1 carry this week for -1 yard. Cheeks of Okorafor is took off week 2. Just said, see you fucking later. We got Jacoby Brissett, who's our decent backup quarterback. I'll give you that. Sione Takitaki hasn't played. He's a special teamer. Armand Watts, cut. Nick Leverett, cut. That's who we signed with, what, $80 million this year?
Mm-hmm. And we didn't even touch the 80 million, really.
No. We barely touched it.
That's what we
scraps.
came up with. Not a single contributor to this team.
Offensively, my thing continues to
Not
be
good.
the running game can't get going. And when the running game can't get going, you're now depending on a 22-year-old Drake May to bail you out of all these situations. And it's a lot to put on a kid. And I think he's got the highest turnover worthy play percentage in the NFL, which, that's not good, but also it's kind of what he's dealing with. He's trying to be and kind of has to be Superman to carry this team. And
Yeah,
you could
there's
see the
nothing else
talent
going
and the
right.
flashes of talent. Some of these runs, 26-yard run, the touch pass to Demario Douglas over on the right sideline. Holy shit. Like, oh, you can layer that ball in like that, dude. Like the bullet pass to Booty late in the game on the hook.
The final
Yes.
play of regular time was incredible. Him
The
scrambling around, finding the
dude,
receiver,
holy shit. He had like
finding
11 and a half
Stevenson.
seconds. He bought himself like 11 and a half seconds. Um, Michael Jordan, by the way, on that play is fucking hilarious to watch because he's literally
He
just
had a
walking
terrible game.
around, never blocked anyone, looking around, looking behind him. Dude, do something.
Go hit somebody.
Find a white jersey and go,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Even Drake
But
May's the interception in overtime. When I saw that thing go up, it's like, oh my God, look at the arm strength.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a Patriots quarterback throw like that in 5 years.
well, he was
yeah.
also throwing into the wind, which is something that this is the reason I am officially out
Done.
on Gerard Mayo.
He's
All
been
right.
in
So
water for a few weeks now, but
there's
that's
been there's been a lot of fucking
it's
bullshit that
finally
he's
done.
done. There's been a lot of, you know, I said this, but I meant that the next day or whatever all year, to get the wind wrong in overtime, you lose the toss. And the one thing you can control is what the wind direction, and you get that wrong in
Well, this
overtime.
was a
And
thing. I didn't read about this. This was a legitimate thing. He got the people are saying he got the wind wrong. Who's
Mhm.
saying that?
Well, Drake May said he
He
threw
is.
into the wind. and then
He
and
said that.
then
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
hear
and
this.
then
Okay.
Mayo said that the wind changed during the game.
No, no, no. He said the wind changed from the beginning of the game to the end of the game.
Right, yeah,
So
during the
you
game.
you preconceived the wind direction presumably before we even got into overtime. You didn't
The
No one
the
told you
question
the
I
wind was.
have is it the head coach's job to direct the captain to take the wind?
Yeah.
Does he
Who
have
else would it be?
I know Mayo's responsible for them making the right call there, but isn't the guy that's at the coin toss in the middle of
Who
the
was the
field?
coin? Who was the coin
I
toss?
don't know. I mean, in my head, it's Matthew Slater, but he's
They didn't.
retired.
They didn't show it.
Yeah, so I don't know who that was. They might be protecting that guy,
I
but
have a hard time
you
believing
got to
that.
think it's that guy's job
Yeah, I would assume it's his job to know. I mean, but that's
to get it
that
right. And I know ultimately Mayo is responsible.
Yeah.
you just can't get that wrong. Like that's something I don't want to bring up
Yeah.
Belichick, but I mean, in a million years,
You're
you
right.
would never have gotten that wrong with Belichick. Not a
Yeah,
fucking
you wouldn't hear
chance.
about that.
You
But I mean
know?
Belichick
that.
might have taken the wind instead of the ball.
Yeah, for all you know. I mean, and that's what it all keeps coming back to. It's just like everything. There's nothing really running well, and the Jets game that was a good momentum builder. I mean, you barely won it, right? You barely won the Jets game. So I know a lot of people. There's been some people who said, "Well, we could have won Seattle. We could have won Miami. We would maybe be a 500 team." It's like, well, you could really very closely be a 0-6, 0-9 team right now. I mean, you
Oh
could
yeah.
you're very close to no wins as well. And it's just
Yeah.
nothing's operating correctly. They're not building things. I mean, the offense, they're not layering in plays. We even saw that a little bit with Billy O'Brien last year with all their troubles that he was layering. Oh, you could say, okay, he's going to this, he's going up, and then he just pulled this on that same formation. Look at that. Everything's so vanilla on offense.
Yeah.
The
I
running
think
game
we're
hasn't gone going. Yeah, we've just shit on this
I think
yeah.
so many
I
times.
think the
It's
win thing to
same
me
thing.
is
Fireable. It's a fireable
it's
offense
a
to rely on.
fireable offense. It's day one shit. It's a high school coach gets fucking wind right, Like I just don't see how you can justify that with the wind change from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Yeah, pay attention. I'm
It
sure the
just
kicker was paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knew which way the wind was going.
right.
I should point out Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries for 16 yards in
Yeah,
this
that's
game.
a
This is last week. I think he had 42 yards on like 18 carries. I've been sitting him in fantasy and he scored two touchdowns both weeks because I watch these games and I'm like, it's not going well.
Mhm.
He's not going to put up any points. And he's putting up
No,
20
but
plus points.
he's getting the
He's
touchdowns.
getting all the touchdowns. It's really frustrating me.
Jeffrey
Uh,
Simmons was an
but more
absolute.
importantly, as a Patriots fan, like, can we fucking run the ball?
I know. Can
That's
we
what I'm
get it
saying,
going?
dude. Like, all right, so you have these guys that are plug and play guys, practice squad guys. The easiest thing to do for an offensive lineman is
Run
just
block.
go straight ahead,
Yeah, run block.
attack, run block. That's not complicated. I mean, there's some pulling, I'm sure, involved. There's some zone blocking schemes. Yeah, okay. But
We should average more than a yard and a half.
to keep playing these games with
Yeah.
Onwenu too, like just leave him at guard. Just leave him at guard. He's good at guard. You know, you have this superstar defensive tackle that's causing fucking mayhem. You have an undrafted guy at center, and who's the other who's the left guard?
Brown
Michael
got his
Jordan. Not
ass.
Michael Jordan, another one, fucking undrafted. Um,
Brown got his ass kicked in this game too.
he did.
He did.
You know, it's hard to fault him. I mean, it's
It's gonna
fucking Jeffrey
happen.
Simmons.
It's gonna
But
happen.
start the game with your best player at least able to help out on Jeffrey Simmons. Like you know he's going to be inside. So
Double team him. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, they've been saying, well, we don't have any continuity. Can't go week to week with our offensive line. It's like this was going to be your third week. You were going to finally get 3 weeks in a row, and you changed it. So you can't keep saying that shit. It doesn't work if you don't go with it.
yep. You would have
Yeah.
had Lowe in there. You would have had Jacobs in there. And I know they want to play Robinson because he's a rookie. They want to get him time. And
But I mean, this is not the team to. I
I
mean,
mean,
right now is not the time to fuck around. I guess you need to get a win. You guys need to get wins.
this
Yeah, and
was
once you're starting to figure out what the right combination was, it wasn't the right time to put Robinson. And we've seen enough from him this year that pass protection, he's not ready.
yeah.
Can't do
And
it.
he's a good player. He's a good player. He's just not ready. So why
Yeah.
force the point?
And why risk your number 3 overall pick investment? Why risk that health?
And he took some hits in
Coming
this
off a
game.
concussion. He took some hits. He was
And he was
too daring.
way too daring.
With his lack of slides. I mean, he needs a serious sit down.
I mean, there was the one play where he ran head first into 2 fucking defenders.
I said when I was watching the game, I was like, if I was coaching the quarterbacks, I would have him doing a sliding drill for 20 minutes straight every day.
I love the
Just
kid though.
drive that.
Yeah.
You just need to slide.
Yeah. When he goes for 20 yards, just slide. We don't need the extra couple for you to take a hit. Just slide. You've done more than your job. You've got
He threw-
first down, you know.
The other side of it,
Works.
I think he threw 2 picks in this game. He should have probably thrown 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, especially on the last drive.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
gotten ugly.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
He's
But
clearly playing hero ball at times because he kind of has to, you know. And
but you don't want bad habits. This is another reason why playing your rookie with a terrible team around him
is bad.
get bad habits. And the bad habit we were worried about, primarily for me, based on the Mac Jones experience, is the happy feet and not being able to handle the pressure.
He doesn't care about getting hit
Yeah,
at all.
but now I'm a little worried about bad habits, about playing hero ball, about throwing into tight windows, about not being protective of the football. Okay, let's move on from this game.
Yeah.
Pats are sitting at 2-7, along with like half the league. It feels like there's so many shitty teams out there.
It is crazy, huh?
a lot of
Let's
bad
catch up
teams.
on some of the games from last week to let the cat out of the bag. JJ and Ryan tied for the win last week in picks,
Boom.
9 games.
Getting there.
9 games each. I was a paltry 7. I think like all the favorites won this week, and even the favorites that didn't make
Yeah.
sense. Like Thursday night, the Jets were favored over the Texans, and they brought home the win on the short week. I swear they should play every game on Thursday. They're way better on Thursdays. The
They're way
Jets,
better on Thursday. Houston's got some problems with their offensive line happening
Yeah,
right now.
man.
big time.
CJ Stroud got sacked 8 times. I think they lost their one of their guards there. Their starting guards early on, but I mean,
Well, the
for the
Diggs
Jets-
thing clearly hurt him too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not looking as pretty as it was. I mean, maybe teams are starting to figure out Stroud a little bit too.
Yeah, maybe.
Mixon was doing his part in the first half at least. Slow down in the second half. Jets get that W on Sunday. The Cowboys go to Atlanta. I figured the Cowboys would be able to throw it on Atlanta. Didn't work out. Dak actually goes out with a torn hamstring. I guess it
Uh,
pulled off the bone.
tore his hamstring.
Yeah, it
Oh,
pulled off
I
the
knew it was a
bone.
hamstring injury. I
Oh
didn't know it
no,
was that. Oh, he's
this is a serious injury.
So
like
we
that
looking
could
at
be
Trey Lance
career.
now?
Do they still have that like redheaded guy who
Cooper
was
Rush. You know,
Cooper Rush?
that's who they played. They played Cooper Rush.
There you go.
Between the two of them, they threw 49 passes.
Wow.
Jesus. I
That's
And
what
they
you
mean,
got to do
just
against the
traded
Falcons,
what, a fourth round pick for Jonathan Mingo or
which
something.
is ludicrous. I think the guy was the fourth receiver in Carolina. Not
I mean,
exactly the most talented team, and they got a fourth round
Ridiculous.
pick for him.
good for
Yeah.
Carolina. That's a
Yeah.
fucking great haul for them. I did not think he was worth that at this point. I mean, I did like him coming out. I think he was Ole Miss. Was he Ole Miss?
Yes, Old Miss.
Um, I think he's a good player. He's fast, he's strong, he's big. I think he could still be a player. It's only year two. So, I mean, but their running game is the thing right now. Like, get your run. Why are you throwing 49 times, 50
That-
times, you know?
Yeah, they're screwed without Dak in there with their lack of running game. I mean, it's miserable.
And it's not
Cowboys
like it's
fans,
hard to find a
ouch.
running back in the draft. They fucking dropped to rounds 3 and 4 now. Like good players, you know?
Too
Yeah.
bad they don't have a fourth round pick next year.
Yeah.
The Dolphins
Brutal.
travel to Buffalo, play a tight one. Buffalo
Yeah.
continues their winning ways against the Dolphins.
Pulled it
They
out.
improved to 7-2. The
Pretty
Buffalo
good, man.
Bills sitting at
They
seven
keep
and
going.
two.
And then they just traded. No, no, they already traded for somebody, right?
Yeah, they got Amari Cooper.
They got Amari Cooper like a week or two before deadline.
Yeah.
It's the Bills. I feel like they're the only ones right now that look like they might be able to beat Kansas City, and that game's coming up soon. So
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one.
that's going to be a
I
big
mean,
one. And
the
Baltimore.
Ravens.
Yeah.
the Ravens, but they always seem to just fall apart against the Chiefs.
This is true. This
You
is
know?
very true.
I feel like Buffalo has that. Like, you need to be a real, like, I don't know,
Complete. You need to be complete
complete
against the Chiefs.
team and not afraid of anything going on. And Josh Allen is that right now. So yeah, they Miami's coming back. That was kind of nice to see a little bit of life in that offense. It's been a little while, so
Right.
good for Tua for that.
Walk off. Was it a walk off? 61-yarder from Tyler Bass to win the game.
I don't know
Holy
if it was a
smokes.
walk off. I don't remember if it was a walk off or not, but I know he won it.
Yeah.
Tyler Bass, the one eye black wonder. It was essentially, 5 seconds left after the kick.
What
Not
the hell's
bad.
wrong with Jalen Waddle, dude?
He's
don't know.
disappeared.
He had like negative yards on the day. I know he had a touchdown, but I think he had one catch for
He had one catch that
negative
was a
4
touchdown.
yards.
Yeah, not good.
What
Jeez.
the fuck? I mean, maybe Tua forgot about him when he got concussed in the last, you know? Who's that
I mean,
guy?
All right.
I think all the quarterbacks forgot about him too.
Yeah. Raiders going to Cincinnati play the Bengals. Bengals
Cincinnati
blow them
just
out. The Raiders
laid
decide
the
to
smackdown.
Raiders clean house in their offensive coaching staff after the game because the coaching was the problem. It wasn't the quarterbacking.
Yeah,
This
right.
game they played Desmond Ritter and Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Quarterback. So they kind of set
Solid
themselves up
options.
for
Some
this.
little
Solid
finger
options.
pointing.
Yeah, I
Like-
bet that offense coordinator was like, fine, it's your problem now.
It's
Bengals
funny that-
continue to just hang in there. 4-5.
4-5. They're playing better. They scored 41. Jacoby Myers continues to be a player over there in Oakland, despite all things crumbling around him. So good for him. Yeah, it was a good signing for him. It's too bad that we didn't keep him around.
He's
Brock
been more
Bowers,
productive
well.
than Devontae Adams was for them.
Yeah.
Chargers in Cleveland playing the Browns. I stupidly took the Browns.
Yeah.
I think JJ did too.
No, I don't think I did.
You absolutely did. It's
Did
written
I?
down.
Ugh, God. What
It's
was
also
I thinking?
recorded if you want to go back. We got a little carried away with the Jameis Winston experience.
Oh, Jesus.
And the Chargers continue to just play solid football.
Dude, all their
Just-
touchdowns are just like guys wide open. Chargers. Like passing Quentin Johnson, there was no one around him. in the second.
118 yards, TD, 4 receptions, pretty good.
Like no one within 15 yards of him. I'm like, you're just gonna leave people wide open. I don't know what's going on over there in Cleveland,
John
but
Harbaugh's pulling some magic. No, Jim Harbaugh. Sorry,
Jimmy boy. Yeah,
he's got that team playing tough, man. I like it.
does. They're a dark horse right now.
that's all it took. And Herbert's blossoming right
They're
now.
5-3. Not bad.
Commanders and Giants. Commanders eke this one out by 5 points. I believe we all took. Oh my goodness,
No, I
Ryan
took
took
the
the
Giants. I
Giants.
took the Giants
Oh
there.
my
Ryan
god,
took the
dude!
Giants in this
I
game.
mean, it was a
Probably would've-
5 point game, dude. Don't act like
They would have
Ballsy.
lost. Commanders would have lost if you picked them. So yeah, you did a good job there,
Yeah,
giving us
see?
the points. But
Protecting
7-2. Who would have figured that fucking Commanders would get to 7-2 this year?
And they're adding too. They brought in Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints.
Yeah, that's a
The
good
big pickup. I don't know
He's
what's
only
going on.
28. I was stunned when I saw he was only 28 years old.
It feels like he's been in the league forever, huh?
I guess
Forever. I thought he was in his 30s.
they're really regretting the Emmanuel Forbes pick, which was one pick ahead of Christian Gonzalez, which stunned us all.
Everyone.
Like, I mean, I know people that had Christian Gonzalez in the top 6 of that draft.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and
I remember he
like,
was top 10. A lot of people. So Manuel Forbes went to Washington, and they're not liking him.
yeah, and he was 170 maybe,
Yeah, if
soaking
that.
wet. You know, so I don't think it's working out for him. But I mean,
They're addressing
kudos to
it.
them. Yeah, they're being proactive here. They're attacking. They see that they have a window here, and I'm pretty sure they're going to run away with that division. I mean,
7-2 right now. I mean, the Eagles are on their heels at 6-2.
Yeah.
Only a half came up on them. New Orleans at Carolina. James went out on a limb and took
Boom.
Carolina as we made fun of them.
we did.
Are those the only two Carolina picks this year, or when Ryan picked them and JJ did, and both of them hit?
Both of them hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bet.
Wow,
Okay.
should we be rethinking our Carolina policy? Well, it cost Dennis Allen his job in
My
New
coach of the
Orleans.
year.
Ryan's
2-0
his
down to
streak.
2-7 and unemployed.
The streak, Ryan's
All right.
infamous streak of selecting coaches to get fired in season for coach of the year.
All right, so my policy next year is just going to be like a Mike Tomlin type of pick, where it's just like he can't get fired. You know what I mean? Because
I think it's 3 years running.
it's probably 3 years running. All right,
It's 3 years running. Brandon Staley got fired last year.
Well,
or
you
2
know,
years ago.
you don't need to shit on me because I did make some other good picks.
Well, you pick everything else good competitively. That's the one.
I got
Yeah,
the
you got a
rookies of the
blind
year.
spot.
I usually can get the rookies, but man, fucking Brandon Staley, Dennis Allen. When I picked the Saints, I think they were 2-0, and they were looking good, dude. We were like, oh wow,
Blowing
okay.
teams out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Olave gets hurt. Fucking what's the other guy? The guy that's always Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed, yeah.
He's always getting loose deep. They went on a 7-game fucking skid. As soon as I pick them.
Kiss of death. Saints fans blame our good friend Ryan here.
So who do we really
your
hate as a
stories.
coach next year? Because that's a good coach. Because I might pick
Who do we
him.
hate?
Yeah.
Who do we hate?
Yeah, who do we want to put the kibosh on?
Harbaugh from the Ravens.
I might take Sirianni. I'm sick of Sirianni.
I'm sick of Sirianni.
I'm pretty sick of him too. Mike McCarthy, I think, is going to get fired this year, so you probably won't have to.
He doesn't need any extra help.
No, I don't want to help the Cowboys.
know.
Okay, let's
Doug Peterson. He's on
we'll brainstorm that. We only got about 11 months to make that pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Denver going to Baltimore. Baltimore runs away with this
Routing.
one. We all
Literally.
got this one.
Derrick Henry's just a beast.
Yeah, it's unstoppable. That
Zay
offense
Flowers.
is a juggernaut right now.
Yeah, they're good. They're good, dude. And
Unless they're playing Cleveland.
Zay Flowers, man, fucking in
They
open
lost
space.
a
Is he electric? Holy shit, dude.
Lights it up.
Hey, he's a beast.
He is so good after
He's
the catch too.
He's so quick.
I like him, man. They added a receiver too, didn't they? I know they had Bateman, but they had someone else, I think.
No,
too.
I think they got somebody, didn't they?
They brought in a guy. They brought in Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson,
Oh, okay.
right from Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. And formerly Pittsburgh, guy that can definitely play. I think his head's a problem, you know.
Well, if he goes on this team, I mean, there's a lot of good, strong personalities and leadership in that locker room. So if he can't play for them and show his talent, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, he starts fucking around. I think Roquan Smith's going to have something to say to him.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Derrick
They
Henry
got
or
good leaders there,
Lamar.
man.
They do. Mark Andrews. I mean, they've got a. They're who's on the line? They have one guy on the line too.
Ronnie Stanley.
Stanley.
Ronnie Stanley, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And
Um,
the center, God, I always forget his name. Linderbaum.
Linderbaum, yeah, out of
Linderbaum.
Iowa. Yeah,
Linderbaum.
really good prospect out of
Love that
Iowa.
dude. No neck. He's awesome. Fun fact about Tyler Linderbaum, he was a great high school wrestler, and the only wrestling match he lost was to Tristan Wirfs
I did
of the
hear that.
Tampa
Oh,
Bay
Yeah, that's
Bucks.
right. Yeah, that's
How awesome
incredible.
is that?
That's
pretty
fucking
good. Not
cool, man.
awesome for him. He was probably pissed.
God,
Probably
that
hates Tristan
GM.
Well, he
Wirfs.
probably looked at Tristan Wirfs and was like, "You want me to wrestle this fucking
Yeah,
guy?"
right. I know he's huge.
Okay.
I love their roster construction over there, man. The GM is fucking awesome.
He's on
Yeah,
it.
Eric DeCosta is one of the best in the biz. Jaguars in Philly. Doug Peterson going back, checking out his statue there. They drop another one and just like they're so frustrating. I mean, he should have been fired so many times already. It's just it doesn't get any better.
I mean, they were
No.
up. I think Philly was up 22-0, and
Yeah,
they
were
came
kicking the
back and
shit
made
out
it
of him.
like there was almost a 4 minute stretch where they were about to like take the lead of this game, and Philly kind of turned it back around. But I don't have a ton of faith in Philly. There was one play in this. Actually, it was two plays.
Play of the year.
Probably. I mean, I don't know if I've
You
ever
see this,
sent.
Sean? The
Oh,
jump.
Saquon, of course.
I don't know if I've ever sent a clip to so many people. Like, holy, what did I just
Yeah, you
fucking
sent it to
see?
me.
Like Saquon, juke right, spin move. His back's to the defender, and he does a hurdle split,
Just jumps right
and
over
the
him.
fucking safety goes right underneath him while his back is to the end zone. I've never seen that before.
And
No,
then
I've never
falls
seen it
forward
before.
like through another tackle. It's what it reminded me of when JJ and I were kids. We would watch like clips of Earl Campbell and like Tony Dorsett and like
Or yeah,
old school running
Barry
backs.
Sanders or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And someday people are gonna pull up a Saquon clip, and it's gonna start and end with this clip.
But that
That's
one, like
the
this guy,
sickest fucking thing I've ever seen, dude.
dude.
Like,
If I were a Giants fan, I'd be so mad. He is crushing it over there.
Yeah,
in
he's
Philly.
amazing.
Right across the way, right over.
And then
there.
Playing
the
against them twice a year.
I mean, that play was unbelievable, but also the Devonta Smith um catching the end zone with one hand,
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
getting in,
yeah.
that was fucking awesome
I
too,
think I
man.
saw a brief clip of that.
The
AJ
one-handed
Brown
catches, Garrett Wilson's one-handed catches. I mean,
Was his one this week was incredible. But
stunning.
it was out of one of them was out of bounds. Was it? No, he got it in. That was the shin thing, right?
yes, yes, it was the shin.
What's your thought process on the one-handed catches? Is it unnecessary? Because
I think it's usually unnecessary.
There's times where if you can only get one hand, sometimes you just can't get two hands.
But
Most of
people,
the time you can.
yeah, people rely on it too much when they're like, oh, well, I couldn't get that other hand over. But if you really tried, sometimes you could.
Yeah, a lot of it's laziness, but there's the occasional where it's like, yeah, you need just to get the ball.
Yeah.
I kind
I
of
feel
fault the
like-
gloves.
Think the gloves are bad?
No, I kind of fault them in the opposite
they're-
way. Like
they're
they're
too
so
good.
fucking good,
Yeah.
right? Have you worn like the new football?
Oh,
like,
they're
receiver
ridiculous,
gloves?
dude. I remember
Not
the
in
ones
years.
Dude.
when we were in high school, they were like cheaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how do you not catch the ball with this? The leather literally like will not move as soon as you touch the ball with this shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they need to fucking do something about that. It's a little overpowered. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like getting pine
Yeah.
tar out of baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
stick them.
Yeah. All right. Next one, the Bears and the Cardinals. We thought long and hard about this one. The
This is a
Cardinals
tough one.
Cardinals just owned this game.
I picked the Cardinals.
I picked the Cards too,
I definitely
but
did.
I was
don't think I did.
waffling. I basically came down to home field advantage in this one.
Yeah.
Cardinals have strung together a couple wins here. They are sitting at the top of the NFC West. Nobody saw that coming. 5-4,
They sure are.
ahead of
No,
three
what a
teams that
joke that
were
is.
supposed to be in the playoff hunt.
Well,
Uh,
you got to fault some of the injuries going on in that division, especially with the Niners and the Rams front. I mean, their offensive line. But Arizona continues to be a team that plays hard, runs the ball really well. I mean, James Conner's having a really good season. Trey McBride, their tight end there, is having a fucking monster season. Michael Wilson stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line is really strong. Underrated. Underrated. They got Paris Johnson a couple years ago.
Big Cardinals fan here now, huh?
like that.
You're
I think
riding with
they're
them.
no, I just think they're drafting well and they're moving in the right direction. Marvin Harrison's getting double coverage a lot, getting a lot of attention, even though he's not really doing anything. And it's very frustrating as a fantasy owner. But I think they're on the right path, man.
Yeah, and the Bears. We'll touch on them again later because they're playing the Patriots next week. But Bears are on a
Lucky
slide
them.
right now.
They're on
Is
a
it
They're
two
slide.
game?
What a great team. I think it's only 2 games.
2 games, but high profile games.
They haven't won a road game. 0-4 away.
And their running game
Interesting.
has fallen flat. And speaking of hero ball, we expected it out of Caleb Williams, and it's kind of been thrust on him as a necessary.
Yeah.
Did you see it was kind of a hero ball play by Caleb, right? So he's rolling to the left. He's buying time. DJ Moore is a kind of like a check down coming back to Caleb, about 10 yards deep. Doesn't throw it to him. Caleb keeps moving around, a little bit of a scramble to the right, and DJ Moore just walks off the field mid play.
No way.
Mid
Jesus.
play, dude. Walks towards the bench. Quits on the play. The play goes for like another 3-4 seconds, dude. I mean, dude, DJ Moore, what the fuck, dude?
It's a
He's been
running theme
bitching
on this
all season.
podcast.
He's been bitching all
God.
season. He's
What
been very vocal in the media about, this and that. Oh, I said what I said. And dude, you're in so much better of a situation now
He
in,
must
in
hate Caleb
Chicago.
Williams. He must hate him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there.
I think he might hate the coach,
Well, no one seems to like the coach there.
Eberflus.
Eberflus. Everyone says the first thing he does is blame someone else when they're like, "What happened here?" He's like, "Oh, that
I'll
was
tell you
this
what, if
guy."
he became available, like I don't love his attitude, but he's a wide receiver one. He's up there. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
DJ Moore, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
I'd fucking take him hands
I'd-
down.
He had
Pretty
like
much-
1,300 yards last year with Justin Fields at QB.
Yeah, I'd sell our entire receiver staff just for him.
Full line change.
Wait,
All right,
wait,
let's-
wait.
let's-
Was he in Chicago last year?
Yeah.
Oh, so he got all right.
He's
He
been
was
there
part
for
of the Bryce
2
Young
years,
trade.
right?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
his second year.
Yeah.
This is his second year right now. He's part of the Bryce Young trade. All right, let's wrap up these last games from last week. Detroit at Green Bay, solid matchup. Lions handled it. Jordan Love doesn't look. I don't know how
He's
healthy
hurt.
he is.
He's hurt.
Yeah,
He's
something's
definitely
up.
hurt. He did
He's
not
hurt.
look good.
It was also the weather in that game was terrible. It was raining. It was windy. It was a tough game for football, and you got to give Detroit a pat on the back for that one because they're a dumb team, and everyone gave them a lot of shit. Like, they probably can't play in the weather, and they scored early and often. They didn't score late, but they didn't need to.
They traded for Zadarius Smith.
They traded for
Detroit
Zadarius
did.
Smith, which I love that.
I didn't get it.
He was such a wasted talent over in he was great.
Cleveland.
He was in Green Bay, right? He was great in Green
He was
Bay.
great in Green
And then he
Bay. He
went
was
to
pretty
Cleveland.
good with the Vikings, and then wasted in Cleveland.
Nothing.
Two things.
Cleveland.
Two things I didn't really understand in this game. First of all, Jordan Love did a Mac Jones scrambling around, panic, just toss the ball to Kirby Joseph, who ran it back for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, the pick
Then
six was bad.
They got down in this game. They weren't down a ton, but they totally forgot about the run game. And Josh Jacobs was crushing, and they got away from that. And then the third thing that I really didn't understand was the ejection of Brian Branch.
Dude, that was really bad.
Yeah, it was a helmet to helmet hit. It was unnecessary. I didn't think it was an ejectable offense. Tom Brady mentioned that now in this game, you
need
can't do
intent.
that.
Yeah, you
I'm
need
pretty sure he's
intent
been pretty sure Tom Brady's been fined for that or something.
Oh, they
sure.
said he was fine.
Yeah, you can't do that.
They cleared it.
Oh, he's not fined.
They cleared him.
Yeah, because he can't be a commentator it
I mean, they reviewed it. I think they looked at it, but
you
I
can't
don't
be a
know.
commentator and be that restricted. Like you have to be able to say that's a bad
Yeah,
call.
and
Like
he's got enough money. He should say what he wants and take the fucking fine
yeah,
Yeah, no
if he
doubt.
wants to. I mean, yeah, Brian Branch getting ejected. I was pretty pissed off about that because that's a big player. He's one of their best players, and it wasn't. I mean, you see plays like that don't even get called for anything.
he's
They,
fantastic, dude. He's one of the best
targeting.
safeties.
Here's a question. I have a question for you. In this game, one of the sacks, Jesus Christ, Drake May, almost called him Mac Jones, was wrapped up at the feet as he was hit high.
Hey,
Now, I
Drake
thought
May?
that was a sheer Drake May. I thought that was a sheer immediate 15-yard penalty. You can't grab for the quarterback's legs. They
Can't go
just not.
below the knees.
Yeah. He was grabbing his feet. He was one of the defenders was on the ground holding the quarterback's feet, Drake's feet,
Oh,
as he got hit.
there's probably some language that's got to be forcible contact. They
I
love to
don't
say
know. I
that
mean,
like if you reach out and you grab his ankle.
right. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the
Yeah,
refs are so focused on these goddamn situational penalties and like formation penalties that they're
right.
actually missing real penalties.
Yeah.
Face masks, like the one in Minnesota a couple weeks ago.
Can we
Clear defenseless receiver, penalty, like things that are actually penalties for a reason.
Yeah, I got you.
It's
the other
driving
thing
me
I
crazy.
just want to touch on, I know we want to move on, but Jared Goff, 18 for 22.
Yeah, he's
This is
super
like
efficient.
historic efficiency the last
Yeah,
3-4 weeks.
He's shredding,
He's basically 74.9% completion percentage.
and they're not dink and dunks either.
no,
He's
He
pushing the
doesn't have
ball to the
Jameson.
second and third level.
He doesn't have Jameson, so I'm seeing a lot like less, you know, deep, but it's a lot of intermediate.
Right.
It's this guy is playing fantastic football, dude. Like
He's
he's
in the
got
exact right situation.
yeah.
It's that old Drew Bledsoe thing. It was like, oh, well, he's got to have a running game and he's got to have a good offensive line. He's got to have great wide
And
receivers.
he's got it.
And then he'll be great. And
Yeah.
this is the situation Goff finds himself in.
He got it. He's
Ben
got the running
Johnson must
game, the
love
offensive line, the defense, the receivers.
Yeah, he's
Ben
got it all.
Johnson must love having that offensive line. It frees him up to do so much cool shit. Like they do some plays that I've never seen before, which is always fun for me to see something I've never seen because I feel like I've seen pretty much everything. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
I love the toss reverse flea flicker. I feel like they run that. They actually run that regularly. Okay, moving on. The Rams Seattle NFC West showdown goes to overtime. The Rams pull this one out. I think Gino had 3 interceptions, if not more.
A bad
Wow.
game.
Gino had a tough one, still threw for 350, but
The
Se- Se-
Rams.
Seattle is just this Jekyll and Hyde team. I think I'm officially out on them. The
I'm out.
Rams, I like to lean on the Rams because of that coaching staff and the quarterback maturity.
Yeah, I mean, Seahawks just it says more about the Seahawks. They're just falling apart. I'm out. I'm out on the Seahawks. Rams, all right, I'll give them some more time. I'm surprised they're where they are. I'm surprised they've been there. They are 4-4. Pretty good home team. So
It's the most rattled and inconsistent I've seen Gino in a while now. Jared Verse was getting to him. Braden Fisk was getting to him. He got sacked quite a few times. That offensive line, I don't know. I thought they were much better than this, but I mean, they still went to overtime. They lost by 6, so I don't want to go too hard on them.
Yeah. Sunday night, Colts and the Vikings. Flacco comes back down to earth. I felt like especially in the second half,
yeah,
the Vikings really just had control over the game. They were up. I really liked the way they finished out the game. They were kind of in the 4-minute drill at the very end,
Mhm.
and I think it was like either first or second down. And you just expect they want to keep the clock running, and they pulled a play action pass and got the touchdown and went up 2 scores. And it was a confident move in the right position. And it's easy to say with hindsight that it worked out for them. But it felt like they were the better team. There was this moment in either the third or early fourth quarter where it was interception, interception, boom, boom. right back. You're like, oh, is this game going to get out of hand? But then it settled back down.
The
Vikings just
Vikes,
seemed
man,
like a mature football team.
they do. They're well coached. They've got enough talent. I mean, they're 6-2, which is shocking. I didn't think they'd be this good. Sam Darnold's having complete career revival, which is good to see. It's always great to see a Jets quarterback succeed somewhere outside of New York. Um, I'm a quiet fan of the Vikes. I like it. I think they're gonna keep rolling a little bit here.
Dude,
NFC
has
North is loaded, dude. Loaded.
their defense has come such a long way in such a short amount of time. They got rid of Daniil Hunter. I think they got rid of Andrew Booth. I'm not really sure, but some of the pieces they brought in there, or what's his name, Brian Flores, has this team the number two rush defense in the NFL. I mean, they're playing from ahead. They look good, man. I know they've
Yeah.
had a couple of weeks there down, but I still like Minnesota.
The Colts coach came out and said Flacco's still our starter. So we're not seesawing just yet to
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. Monday night, Tampa goes into Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs did it again. They pulled this one out in overtime. Scary moment in the uh, third or fourth quarter.
It was
Mahomes
third
throws
quarter,
a
yeah.
touchdown pass and comes up limping on his ankle. I guess I don't know. He didn't roll it or anything.
Jerky,
It just
odd
like,
ones. Yeah, it was
yeah,
like
it
an
just
odd
didn't
motion.
sit right. Kind of like he had fluid in there and it was just a little extra mobility. But came back in. I saw Carson Wentz warming up. I was expecting to see the Carson Wentz
Same.
show. But Mahomes came back in. Mayfield actually had a nice game tying drive to send it into overtime, and the Chiefs took care of it. What it came down to was, I think, like three or four of the Chiefs, it might have been all of the Chiefs' touchdowns came on third down. It was like they
Yeah,
had they
they're
had 4 point plays that they cashed in every time, and that's what got them the win. They just high leverage situations, they come through. It seems like every single time.
Yeah, I think that,
they're brilliant in third down overall. I mean, they don't convert all of them, but 3rd and 20. It's not like, oh yeah, they're probably gonna get this. That's one.
right.
They're one of those teams that they just find ways to win. And Baker Mayfield's reaction when the Bucks lost the coin toss, and he was like, well, "We're
It's
fucked."
over.
Basically
Yeah,
had that kind of expression and gesture, like, "Oh, great." And there's a big debate going on if they should have went for two at the end, if they should not. I mean, I feel like it's the Chiefs. You're in Kansas City. If that's a gunslinger, bold move. Detroit and Dan Campbell probably would have went for two, but I don't know. I don't fault. It's a tough decision either way. I don't fault you going for one or the other. I mean, generally, I would fault someone for going for two, but because of the situation, like when the Patriots scored to tie it and went to overtime, I didn't want them to go for two because I was thinking, I don't know if they can get this. I mean, maybe they should just go for it, but I don't have any confidence in us succeeding.
In that
Bucks, maybe they could
situation,
figure it out.
yeah, I didn't watch it at that point. But it depends on what's going on the field right then. So for the Patriots situation, I did not want to go for two because I felt like Drake May was fully spent and we didn't have any timeouts.
Right.
And he was going to have to go out there huffing and puffing and try to
And
execute a 2 point conversion.
he was probably gonna have to run it in.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the way we would have had to convert there. So I don't know what the situation was for the Bucks, but
yeah, yeah. It's tough.
typically
It's
in
a
that
tough
situation,
call.
if you're on the road against a favorite, I think you should go for two at that
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, hindsight's always going to be 2020, especially if you lose the game. You got to give a little bit of credit there for Brett Veach too for bringing in DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, he had a
He
great game.
he looks like a really good player again.
Yeah,
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Funny how that
Um,
works.
Kareem Hunt's running hard too.
Kareem
Yeah.
Hunt looks good. I mean, they do a good job bringing guys in, and it's easy to buy in, I think, too, for some of these guys. You know, you're coming
Definitely.
back to a team that's 8-0. It's easy to play hard and get on board. Andy Reid's your
Yeah,
coach.
coming off two Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
buy-in's very easy there.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn the page, talk about the Patriots going to Chicago, playing at Soldier Field next week. New 1 o'clock kickoff. game. I haven't seen the weather. I know it's going to be rainy in the Midwest. I don't know if that's going to affect this game specifically, but
Yeah.
let's talk about the what the Bears do well, which is they kind of play a little backyard football at quarterback.
Yeah.
And they got weapons on the outside. I know Odunze has been banged up, but and then DJ Moore's had the mental hang up a little bit.
Dunze was back and had over
But
100 yards last game. He's killing it. Dunze since he's been back.
they're the Bears passing offense is 29th in the NFL and their rushing offense is 23rd in the NFL. They have been much better on defense than on offense so far this year. They're
Perfect.
pretty good defensive front. Haven't had that much production offensively, which is surprising given the talent level that they've had.
Right. I feel like it's the perfect opportunity for the Bears to come in and kick the shit out of a really bad team and get their numbers and confidence up. And that's kind of where we're at. That's how I feel with the Patriots. I mean, I don't even give a shit about the matchups anymore at this time. You know, me and for 10 years now, me and Sean would go over which player matches up against this guy and who's gonna win on this battle versus that battle. We are so far past that in being bad that, you know, or I don't even think we're gonna man up. I don't think we're gonna man up. We probably man up with them better than zone. I don't know how Caleb is against the zone, but Demarcus Covington just calls a very vanilla defense. It's
Yeah.
extremely vanilla. He might call a blitz occasionally from around the end or from the safety or from the middle linebacker. That's all he has is
Yeah.
one blitzer once or twice a game. And that is his only wrinkle he adds to the defense. So I don't know. I feel like this is a good game for the Bears to sadly gain some confidence. And I, you know, this game just reminds me of last year when we went to Chicago thinking, hey, you know, we got, I don't know at the time, maybe 2 wins or something. Like, this is a game that we should go win. Chicago was the worst team in the league at one point. They were the worst team in the league. They got the first pick. They blew us out. Remember that?
Hmm.
Oh, this is the Monday night game.
Yeah.
Like
The Monday
Yeah. With
night game. I don't
Justin
know.
Fields.
Did
Justin
they,
Fields went nuts.
I don't know if they, did we score? I think we scored three or something. We got a field goal.
Maybe. Yeah, something like that. That was the Mac Jones benching and then put back in game.
Yeah, so it was that bad that I don't know. I mean, I want Drake to get a win. I feel real bad that he hasn't gotten a win because he's been playing well enough to get a win. The rest of his team hasn't. I just don't think this is the week.
I'm not very confident in this game. I don't like the turnover percentages for Chicago. They're pretty good in those departments. They're really good pass defense, kind of middling defense on the run. Maybe you can get the run going. I would love to see that. I think that's the biggest thing that really the Patriots have needed for 3, 4 weeks running here, where it's like Ramondre's getting all these carries, but he's not getting any yards. You know, touchdowns are great, but that's all Drake May getting him into those situations. Offensively, I don't think, well, defensively for the Patriots, offensively for the Bears, I don't think we get enough pressure with our front four. If we're dropping all these guys back, I think that this is a game where Caleb will probably start to pad his numbers a little bit and get his team from what, like the 29th ranked passing yards defense back up to like mid 20s, low
Right.
20s. I could definitely see that happening. I don't have any confidence in our defense right now, which is weird to say because
We've always had a good defense,
yeah.
even when we're bad. So
What are you guys going in this game for
24.
I got Bears,
Oh, you go.
Bears 17-13.
I'm going to say Bears 24-20.
I'll go Bears 24-17.
24-7. All right.
I mean,
I'll
don't
rate
get me
the
wrong, I'd love to win, but it's just after losing to Tennessee, who has looked like maybe the worst team in the league, you know, from time to
yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
we made them look respectable and a really good running team.
I also
That's what,
think the Bears coming off these two losses are going to want to win. You know, they're
yeah,
Exactly.
going to
they're
be at
four
it.
and four. They're not bad. They
They're
have a
coming
lot of
back
talent.
home. They've been on the road for 2 weeks. I think they're going to look at the Patriots as like this. We got to get right on this game. The Patriots. I
Yep.
just want to see some fucking improvement, man. Like Jesus, I, call a good game. Call a good game on both sides of the ball. Blitz a little bit. You know, do some different things. Throw some trick plays. I don't something. So give
Throw a
me
trick
something.
play for Christ's sake,
You
right?
know that trick play that fucking Tennessee ran, the flea flicker, the end around flea flicker.
It's like, where's that?
Where's that? You know,
We
and
haven't thrown
and
it once this year. We barely threw it last year.
I don't think Drake May's a dumb kid. You can give him something and he can handle it. You know, and
Yeah.
I know it's a rookie quarterback. You're still trying to give him a full playbook. You know, but it's
They
gotta
got to
it's
do something. They got to make it more exciting, and they got to help this fucking kid out. They
Yeah.
got to help Max protect.
the run
They
game is
did
the
it.
big
They
thing.
did it a bunch of times last week,
They
and I
did.
was happy to see it. Where
Oh
they
yeah,
they kept 7 guys in the block. I'm like, thank fucking God,
yeah.
The run
you
game is the
figured it
big
out.
thing, right? Like, get the run game going, man.
Run game and a little and some aggression on defense.
Yeah. And it can't be Drake May run game. Like, I'm talking about like get these running backs going, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's run through these games in week 10, Thursday night, real good one. Bengals at the Ravens. Divisional matchup. Bengals tend to get up for these divisional games. I still got to go with the Ravens. The way they're moving the ball right now.
You said Bengals, Ravens.
Bengals, Ravens.
I'll go Ravens. Ravens.
I'll go Bengals.
Hey, here we go.
Gotta get it. They need it. They can't go
They need
four and
it.
six. Like,
Yeah,
and I
T.
feel like I've been
Higgins,
saying that all
The
season with them.
Ravens need this, dude. The Ravens need. They're come on.
they don't need it, need it.
They need it. They
Not
need to
really.
stay in the running.
I think the Bengals need it more than the Ravens do.
Yeah, agreed. Bengals 4-5, Ravens 6-3. Currently, they could close that gap on Thursday night. T. Higgins changes that offense for the Bengals, so
He's doubtful, by the way.
that would be enormous if he came back for them.
Yeah, he is
Ooh,
doubtful.
Germany,
Ooh.
the Giants and the Panthers,
Oh
one
my
of the best
God.
games on the NFL slate, and the Germans get treated to it.
You know what?
The
These are the types of games we should be sending to fucking Germany. You know, like what are we
yeah,
doing? Sending all these games overseas?
Yeah, right.
Give them
This
the
is a
fucking
tough one,
Giants
dude.
and fucking Panthers. I'll take Giants, by the way.
Giants are favored 6.5 points
Ooh, that's
as a heavy favorite.
I mean, I
Oh,
do like. I
sure.
feel like Bryce Young's finally getting a little confidence. He threw a couple touchdowns last week,
The
so
Giants played the commies pretty close.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are we going back to back weeks with someone picking the fucking
I think I'm gonna do it. I
Panthers?
think I'm picking the Panthers. Let's go for it.
Wow.
Throw it
Good
in.
stones on you. I'm
Yeah,
taking the
against the
Giants.
Giants, who are awful. It's not that brave of a
Don't.
pick.
It's pretty brave. I
They're
gotta say it's
terrible.
pretty brave. Next one up, the Bills in Indianapolis. Bills are rolling.
Give me the
Fav
Bills.
Favored
Bills
by
all
4.
day.
Yeah. Fuck. I gotta take the Bills.
All right. Bills across the board right there. Chiefs and Denver in Kansas City. Chiefs favored by 7.5. I'm sticking with the Chiefs.
I guess I gotta. I hope Denver wins. I hope.
God, I
I
want to.
hope.
I
I
want to
hope.
pick
I
Denver
hope.
so bad, but I gotta go Chiefs.
This one might be easy too. Falcons at New Orleans. Although the new
Falcons.
coach syndrome, are we seeing a new coach syndrome
Yeah, especially
with New
against the
Orleans
Falcons.
at home?
Who is the new coach? Do we know?
Derek Carr is playing though,
Or
right?
who dat? I can't keep those straight.
Awesome.
Derek
All
Carr is
right.
expected to play out.
Awesome. I love it. Falcons.
Man, Falcons for me as well. James is a gambling man this week.
I know
Gotta
he
get
He
all
is.
saw
these
that he was only
shows.
4 games down.
Yep,
He's
gotta
trying to
make
make
some
up some
headway.
games.
Only 4 games down the standings.
This is
Gotta make
this
some
is where I
headway.
separate myself here.
Atlanta's only minus 3.5.
Well,
That's surprising.
This is a good
Feels
game.
like it.
49ers
49ers
at
at
Tampa.
Tampa. Yeah.
Big fun game. That's a tough one,
Tampa just took the Chiefs to overtime.
right?
49ers coming off a bye. It's in Tampa. Gosh, I think I'm still going to take the Niners.
I'm taking the Niners.
I'm going Tampa. Give me the Bucks.
Outlier week for JJ.
Big time. He's out on a limb by himself. Steelers and Commanders. Ooh, this is a really good game.
That's a
In
Ooh,
tough
Washington?
one, huh?
in Washington. I think I'm going to take the Steelers.
Wow. I'm gonna keep riding the Commanders.
I'll go
Commanders minus
Steelers.
3.
Give me Steelers.
Wow.
Steelers as well. Goodness. Vikings at Jacksonville. This is one of those games I feel like Jacksonville could win.
Yeah, but we were just talking up the Vikes. I can't pick against them against the
All right.
Vikes in
Vikings at
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I'll
Yep.
take the Vikes. Give me the Vikes.
I'll take the
Minnesota.
Vikes too.
Jacksonville plays at home. That's fucking weird to me. When have they been home all season?
I mean,
Home
legitimately,
is
I
in
don't
London.
know.
I know. Uh, Vikings. Give me Vikings.
Vikings across the board for us. All right. Next one, Titans at the Chargers.
Give me them.
Uh,
Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers
Ch
all day, all night.
Chargers for everybody. And then the Eagles at the Cowboys with whoever the fuck is going to be playing quarterback for the
I
Cowboys.
know. I guess you just
Yeah,
got to pick the
Eagles.
Eagles, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
take the Eagles as well.
I don't like to go chalk this hard, but kind of is what it is. You know, it's very. I'm going very predictable here. I think for most of these games. Is that it? Is there another? Is there another
Shit.
game?
Wait, you said Jets cards?
Jets Cardinals. We got three more, including this one.
I'll
Okay.
take
Jets
the
cards.
Cardinals. Mark it.
Cards in a toss up. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to
I'll,
take the Jets
I'll
in this one.
go. I'll go Cardinals.
Cards as well, sticking with them.
Hmm.
And then Sunday night, the Lions traveling to Houston to play the Texans. Pretty fun game.
That is a
This is a
good game.
great. This is well. It could be a good game. I think I'm going Lions. I mean, it's really hard for me to pick against them. Detroit -3.5.
I
Texans just
don't.
got their asses kicked by
I
the
know.
freaking Jets.
I don't like what I saw from the Texans last week, and I liked what I saw very much from the Lions. So I'm gonna go in that vein, Lions.
Lions for me as well. They're too good to pick against right now. Monday night, Rams hosting the Dolphins.
I'm
Rams are
gonna go the
favored by one
Dolphins. I
point.
think they're gonna finally put it together.
Yeah, I think Dolphins.
Wow. I'm gonna take the Rams. I said it earlier that I'm starting to believe in them. I'm gonna keep that belief. How about that, James? What a wild
Yeah,
card
we're going all in.
slate of
Going
games for you.
all over the
This
Yeah,
is
place.
dude. Wow.
You're either going to be in the dumps or gloating
Yep,
big time next
we'll
week.
see.
I don't hate the picks, for the most part,
Will
but
it pay off?
it's a fun week. It's not bad. It's some good games here.
Yeah, there's sometimes in the rough, as long as
Yeah.
you're not in Germany.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Was that is that a 9 a.m. thing again?
Yep. Yep. Sure is.
Ugh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wake up for it if you want to, or
Or
spend your
don't.
Sunday morning doing something more fun,
Or
or
don't.
sleeping, or don't. Probably don't. Just avoid it. Yeah, James will be glued to it. He's going to see those Panthers dominating in the
Oh yeah,
in
Anything
Munich
all
right after
over it.
Oktoberfest.
anything catch you guys' eye at the trade deadline? I thought it was pretty lackluster. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than.
One stuck out to me that didn't make sense. The Packers traded away Preston Smith, the outside linebacker. They signed away from the Washington football team, as it was called at the time years ago.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why the Packers would be offloading talent. They got a pick back. It's not like they were trading for a player that's going to help them right now. They're in the hunt. The Packers are in the hunt this year.
I don't know.
Why are they getting rid of
That doesn't
talent?
make much sense
Maybe
to
not
me.
using him with Rashawn Gary or something. Maybe he's not a good run defender. I don't really know much about Preston Smith. Um, that is
Yeah,
interesting
that
though.
one confused me. Another confusing one was the Patriots didn't ship anybody
No
besides
one,
Josh Uche.
dude. So we couldn't
So
get a pick swap,
stupid.
nothing like that with KJ Osborne, Taekwon Thornton. I would think, you want to get some of these guys, especially Thornton with or I mean, especially Osborne, really, with the deal we just gave him. I think it's a 3-year deal to do a pick swap, seventh round even, just get him off your books. And now you potentially are looking at cutting him.
I think Osborne was a 1 year deal, but Kendrick Bourne's a 3 year deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Osborne was asking for his way out, so I don't know why you wouldn't take a fucking bag of sand for him.
Yep,
He's
exactly.
not contributing shit. It doesn't matter. Like you said, I think he's on a 1 year deal. If you
Anything that's
put,
going to result in more playing time for Kayshon Boutte, I'm on board with.
yeah, And anything, if you got anything for the guy, it's a plus. A seventh round in 3 years. Why not? Go for it. Take it. I mean,
I don't know if I've
Yeah,
ever
right.
seen a trade in the NFL 3 years down the line. I think it's usually this year or the year after. I don't know if you can
no,
even do
it's
that.
2 years. That's why I'm joking. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like such a non-factor. I take it. So I don't know why they didn't do a seventh or a sixth or seventh swap or whatever. I mean, if they were offered anything, they should have got it. And there, it sounds like people were offering something.
All right,
You
so
Yeah, it
know,
does make sense.
I've kind of like
I mean,
we're 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 halfway through the season. Where are you at with Gerard Mayo? In or out?
Do
I
I have to
mean,
choose in or out? I can't say wait and see.
I
Oh, you
mean,
can say
if
wait
you,
and see. You want to
I'm
say
in
wait and
wait
see?
and see, but I'm more trending way down. I mean, I haven't liked the signing since he
Yeah, not
started
much.
personally.
Wasn't even a coordinator before it. So I wouldn't have expected him to come in and be like a tremendous head coach right away.
I'm
But
out
yeah,
after the
I
season.
haven't
I'm
liked the
I'm
results.
100% out after the season. After
And
this
I might be
latest
out on the
thing,
front
like
office. I might be out on the front office.
I might be out in
I'm
the front
just
office too, but I'm definitely out on Covington and Mayo. Ben Pelt, you know, I don't know, but I mean, if we bring in, I would fucking throw a bag at Ben Johnson at this point, like, and I don't know if the Patriots would do that, but
no, I don't think they will.
you got to get an offensive fucking genius in here for Drake May. You really do. Like, you would be doing yourself a massive disservice if you did not take advantage of this kid, you know?
Well, maybe
So,
they don't have to pay Bill next year, so they'll actually not. They'll pay for another coach.
dude, it's
Maybe
not like they don't have
That'd be
money. They're
nice.
just cheap. They're
they're
just cheap.
cheap, super cheap.
One of the worst qualities you could have in an owner, although they do have 6 rings.
They have six
So
rings.
they they
Everybody's
they
taking
did
pay
something
cuts to
right.
stay together, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Halfway
I don't
through the
agree.
season, 2-7. Uh, Same record
Not
as the Jaguars.
not where we
We've
thought
got
we would be. I think we thought we would probably be a little bit further along, right? Like,
uh,
No, this is
I
kind of
thought
where
we
I
were. I
expect, at
thought
least
we were
record wise.
maybe another. I mean, if I had seen how when the schedule came out, and a lot of these teams like Jacksonville, I thought they were going to be good. I thought Tennessee was going to be competitive. You know, some of these teams were going to be much more competitive than they are. If you had told
yeah.
me what those teams were, and I saw our schedule still, I basically every team we faced is like 1-6
And
or
we've had it easy too.
two
We played
win,
the
one
Dolphins
or two wins.
with Tyler Huntley and like,
That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
you know,
If you told me that, like, oh well, you get Miami versus their third string quarterback, you get the Mason Rudolph on the Titans, I'd say I think we can win those games,
yeah, I'm probably
but
chalk
we're not.
with the amount of wins, but I didn't have the foresight that I have now with the hindsight is like we were playing like Tyler Huntley and then the fucking Titans are terrible. And some of these other
Right.
teams that we've
Exactly.
lost to, and it's like, of course
We're
none of us
worse.
were.
I guess that boils down to we're worse than I expected. Just
Yes.
we
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
we're around the ballpark. We're still in the ballpark where I thought we're just way up in the nosebleeds. And I
but
think
Yep.
I'm very happy
This is
with
true. However, with Drake May.
yes.
with
That's
Drake
what I
May.
was about to say. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean he's special. Like they just need to iron out some of the things with him. Like he's definitely turnover prone. He's gotten a little bit lucky, I
He'll
would
be
say.
fine if they can scheme him up and get him some players. He needs some talent and some good coaching. He'll be fine.
I know, I just
Yeah.
don't want him to
Yeah. We got a
develop
good
those
one.
habits. Those habits Sean was talking about where like now you're just throwing to throw, like
Yeah, hell yeah. It's a thing.
it's a
Yep.
thing,
You see
man.
it come over some people. All right.
So,
I think we covered it. We can wrap up this episode. Please subscribe, rate, and review to support the podcast. Enjoy Patriots Bears this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
all right, guys, see ya.
Adios.